Hi, and welcome to Odyssey of Ascension. This is Roxanne once again. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get to channeling on this wonderful Wednesday. It is Wednesday, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And greetings once again to the collective. This is Ocyphius. We bid you a good day. We have a new speaker, so to speak. Roxy's still a little uncomfortable with me. See, she misinterpreted my vibration. She translated it. See, that's what we do here. What'd you eat, Roxanne? Hello. We translate vibration, and there was a familiarity, a familiar idea in her mind about this vibration. She therefore interpreted it. See, when you blend two ideas, and we're going to talk of a channeler in Roxy's class that talked about mixing of energies. And when you mix an energy, that energy becomes that energy. See, it's not this energy and this energy, it's this new energy. So in Roxy's coffee, there's coffee and cream. So those two energies are mixing, okay? And that's why it tastes the way it does. And I interpret the taste of it according to my understanding of reality, of vibration. So Roxy then channeled me and thought I was Heath Ledger doing the Joker, and I'm not. But that was familiar because it was all the ideas that the Joker would do in some fashions, but not quite the same, but it was an interpretation. And that's what she found the truth in the moment to be. And afterwards, after the class had ended, Roxy goes, "You're not Heath Ledger, are you?" And I said, "No." But that's what all truths or truth in the moment is all about. Is to not hold yourself in contempt for choosing a joy, for choosing your truth in the now. See, that's what the son of a bitch about time is, isn't it? Time kicks your ass because you have that ability to reflect upon action of every now that your memory deems plausible and acceptable in the moment, which of course is your higher self giving you that for that purpose, because you're judging it. You're judging your own self in time. And Roxy saw that that interpretation was close in vibrations. See, it was my energy, me. And you are getting the version of me mixed with Roxy and her interpretation of her and my energies, and then you get this energy. Then you interpret this new energy as your own understanding of vibration, interpretation, according to what you're seeing. And that is what creation is. It is interpretation of vibration, and that's what we are. Now, you can say you're light, of course, but what are you before light? You can say you're tone, but what are you before tone? Well, you're thought. What are you before thought? And there's the question, isn't it? That's the question that is unknown. And there's not a term. But see, light can be translated as vibration. Tone can be translated as vibration. Of course. Yes, yes. And that's what you're working with. That's your framework. But always know there's something beyond vibration, light, tone, expression, will, thought. There's something behind it over here. You can't see it, can you? And you can't even think of it or imagine it. Because it's out of your vibratory state of being in this remembrance of yourself at this current time. However, since this vibration that we have just mixed with you is now within your framework, because you are receiving it right now, then this starts a triggering effect. And that triggering effect starts to move within your vortex of yourself and pings off of different portions of your physical body. And we're not just talking about the one here, we're talking your DNA physical body here, which contains everything. It's all in there. So when you vibrate at a frequency of intrigue, this was what you would, let's say, compare to a frequency that is more in frequent bands, if you want to say it that. It has more peaks. Okay. And that, in and of itself, travels along your body. And what happens is your body is getting more input from those higher frequencies. Now I'm going to take a side note. It is not some outside frequency. I would like you to get rid of that shit. Because it is your vibration of interpretation of outside frequencies. So it is truly your frequency that is on the awareness of increase, is what you call it. But it truly is awareness of your own state of being. Take that home with you. So, back to the point. When you are running more higher frequencies along your body, and the catalyst is this intriguing idea that there's something beyond I can't imagine, behind everything I know as creation, which is light, tone, vibration, thought, will. That stuff right there. So this conscious mind starts to want to know. Of course, it can do its idea seeking and using reference points of the past, but all of you now know that is futile to an extent. It may bring you along some idea that will result in positive or successful ideas, but those are still measured because they are successful ideas on goal setting or accomplishment for achievable outcomes. Now, if you are increasing because of this intrigue, what is happening is you are waving all over your body in your vibrational bubble. What happens is this idea starts to ping off at a more rapid pace of your DNA. And that wakes it up. That is energizing it more. There is no time to grow cobwebs on the DNA. When you are vibrating at a lower frequency, and please do not scale or measure that, we are just referencing that, or you can say at your self of separation level, you can look at it covered up, then the DNA doesn't get as much as a workout. Thank you, Roxanne. Very nice. But you are getting an energetic workout when you are following your joy and finding bits and nuggets of shiny things to play with. And this changes your vibrational field, and your DNA is being more and more activated. And encouched with every single strand of you, your DNA is in the entire creation of you. Every thought, every experience, every idea of yourself is encouched within you. And those pingings by your energetic field, because you have chosen to be more you, has given you an idea of awakenings. Those awakenings now become more apparent because of the frequency that is uninhibited, that is your natural state of being, and therefore it creates more fun in your mirror. And that mirror is intriguing, and it becomes your life reality. It cannot change, because you will not go back, because you cannot unremember in this cyclic lifetime. Now, those DNA triggerings will spawn many, many, many ideas of beneficial to the human idea in reasoning. One of them being bringing your quasi-mind more online and recalculating and redefining your brain, your energetic pathways, things like that. But it also brings in thought and remembrances and knowledge and complete wisdom. It is like one day you don't know how to do mathematics and the next day you do, because you close these two circuits that allow that with no learning process, grinding out 10 to 15 years of mathematics to make these two circuits work in a particular way that you can all of a sudden know mathematics at a genius level. You can work to there, but you've seen many mathematicians, Good Will Hunting would be a good example, that just have it, because that was how their brain formed in the probability when they set their incarnation up. Now, your mind becomes that with no effort, because that's the most conducive, beneficial portion for yourself to experience in that now. But do not define what is supposed to come, because you have theory. And theory is based on projected ideas of better than now. And that's not fun. That's not a good land to play in, because it involves time, and it involves references of time, which is limited. Yeah. So let's not theorize about, that is good, about what's going to happen as you do this. And it takes a few nows. Raising your joy, don't look for the overnight success, because that's looking for an escapism platform that you're holding as a hope, which is vibrating lack, which keeps your frequency in the same modular scale that you've been on. And that's not the game. So just know it, and when it comes, and it will, with no effort from you, then don't be surprised. And we'll talk a little bit about surprising yourself. It seems that humanity is shocked at themselves when a surprise or something awesome happens, and it's wonderful to feel that surprise and get that gift. But here's the issue. If you don't accept the awesomeness, then their surprise is not coalesced. You have to be worthy of your own awesomeness. Because without acceptance of what you are, you cannot put that vibration in as a background program running at a consistent rate that will never cease until you choose to forget again, if you do. In other words, you're this awesome, and this awesomeness comes in. So you stay at this awesome if you don't accept this awesome surprise, synchronicity, miracle, because it can't become you, because you are saying, wow, look at that, and you tell your friends, and you talk about it, and you're in awe about it, but you just don't fucking accept it. So it stays there, and you're over here. And that vibration doesn't get to build upon, in your terms, we'll say remembered in our terms, what you've always been, to bring a more higher constant self of the natural state of being that you are. And it stays at bay, and you keep it at bay. Now, right now, the conscience collective of humanity is just pinged off of us on the experiences on that last conversation. And you, most of you, a lot of you, yes, thousands of you, just said, oh, I will accept it. Okay. Okay, good. Then do that. But be aware of your acceptance. It's okay to be awesome about it. Talk about it. But if you accept it out of convincing, that's not accepting. You have to feel it. You have to melt your heart with it. You have to say, I deserve this. And when you do, that sets it in stone forever within you. And then you will be that. And your consistent vibration rate cannot be covered up again, because you cannot forget once again what you know in this cycled lifetime. Okay? So then the result is your vibratory constant state of being that is now uncovered even more because you have accepted your own light. Now will do its duty, which is a program that needs no effort from you once again, and to ping off of your DNA. That will bring more and more of your 2/3 junk DNA online. And you remembered ideas, selves, lifetimes, experiences, knowledge, abilities will start to become less foggy. Yes, like our friend Tom here says, the veil is much like a glass. It's a little distorted, and it clears up. It could be a kind of a colored glass at first, but you always can see it through it. Always. Whether you want to accept it or not, it's entirely up to you. But as you grow yourself in betterment of light, is a term, then the glass becomes clearer, and then of course the veil will cease. So, understand the effects of mixing vibrations and what those vibrations do for you in beneficial ways. The term laziness is incredibly beneficial to the human self, because pondering and contemplating and philosophizing in yourself, whether it's vibration of your terms of negative or positive action, is not the point. It's about the allowance of your philosophy to explore itself, the allowance of your exploration of your fears that shift vibrational frequencies in the body, because it's more natural. And your laziness is doing things at molecular levels that would appear rather busy to the human eye if they could perceive that. So, mix your energies, and know that all energies that are mixed that lie before you are still an interpretation. And now, through your interpretation, it becomes a new vibration. There is no one vibration ever. We are the constant of change. So when you appear to see something that you call the same thing, it is not. is always new. So instead of scoping your limited eyes to an easy definition of the same thing, allow the mixing of the new energies that are now before you to be interpreted by your wonderful self of allowance, to see the beauty that at one time looked the same, but now has expressed itself within you in a whole new way. And your explorations of the now don't become so fucking boring, because you're not telling yourself it's the same vibration. And it's not. Ever. All right. It is wonderful to speak here. Hello. Hi. Okay, there we go. We shall zip out of here. And yes, Heath is doing fine, for those of you who have asked. Roxy says, what do we call you? And of course I said Joker. And she goes, that was cheesy. And I said, fuck you. And she goes, awesome. All right, darling, I'm going to go now. About your nows. All right, we shall see you later. Bye. And that of the Joker, we are on. This is Big O. We'll see you all in the next now. Adon. Don't you love the fucking unknown? Just let it happen. That's fucking good shit. Alright, guys. We'll get this up. I love you. We'll see you on Friday. And I think that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.